If you're looking to get a job in the production industry, the first thing that you're probably gonna have to learn is how to wrap cables. And there are some right ways to do it and some wrong ways to do it. And so first I'm gonna show you what not to do. Basically what I would do, or what you shouldn't do, is wrap them around your arm. This is one of the easiest ways to probably break the cord, but you're not gonna wanna wrap this around your arm like this. This is the easiest way that you could probably break your cords because you have to like bend the head of your cord. This is like the most basic step, or the first thing that you need to know if you're trying to work into a production atmosphere or a production environment. This is something that they didn't teach me at all in studio school. This is called like the over-under method or reverse coil, whatever you want to call it. Basically the way I like to start is keep the prong up to the sky. It really doesn't matter which side you start with, I don't believe, unless there's a specific way they're asking. But what you really want to do with longer cords, like 100 foot, 200 foot cords, 50 foot cords, 25 foot cords, is to try to keep your arm at the same length and then put your other hand as far down as your hip as goes. That way that each loop is the same exact length, you know? But since this is a smaller cord, it's really not that difficult. So pretty much the first step of doing this is going down a good distance, you know, so that your cord isn't kink, and just kind of bringing your hand, which is over top of the cord, hence the name over, and bringing it towards yourself to create like this little loop right here. Now the second step is where we get to under, and basically the only difference between this is that your hand's on the other side. At first my hand was on this side, now my hand is on this side. And pretty much what you can do if you have longer cords is throw it towards you to create like this own little loop. But the easiest way in slow-mo is to just bring this side, twist your wrist, and bring it up towards you like this. Now the issue with this is that my first loop was way smaller than the second one. So I can correct this by pulling on the cord that I've left to wrap. This way it creates about the same distance, I'm gonna give it a little bit more, about the same distance between each, that way the cord stays properly wrapped. Now, same thing, you're gonna wanna start on this side for the over, that's basically over, that's under. And the way you can tell the difference is because when you do an under, the cord kind of goes inside of the last cord. And so when we get to the end, I'll show you how to get rid of that. Pretty much now you have to go back to over, which is just the same exact thing with your hand over top of the cord or on the other side of it, and wrap it again. Try to create that same distance between the first one you've already done. And then you want to do under again, which is again bringing that arm here, kind of like putting your forearm forward. So before it's like elbow out, now it's like forearm out. And then you want to bring that side, twist it up towards you. And that creates about the right way that your cord's supposed to be ran. Now, just to finish this off, you go over, go under. Now if you have a cable tie, which I don't have, a great spot to put it is right there in the middle. That way your heads don't bounce around. But as you can tell, well, I guess I finished with an over, but let's just say I finished with an under, like, let me go back. If you could finish with an under, and just finish with this, just so that I could finish with an under. I guess it already did it itself. So if you're finishing with an under, your cord's on the inside, just to make it easier for the person taking the cord after you, you could put that cord on the outside. That way they know, hey, this is the end of it. You want to try to have one head on one side and then one head on the other side. That way you know when you're about to throw the cord out, which side is which. Now just to do it quickly again, in case you want to see this a little bit quicker, and of course you can critique my technique in the comments, I don't really care. But this is just the way I've been doing it, and it's worked out pretty well for me so far. Again, nice loops, keep your cords good. Just do it with a different cord, an HDMI cord. I've found that the easiest cords to wrap are XLR cords because, I don't know, they just have worked better for me. But, I mean, you could be wrapping anything from XLRs, HDMIs, SDIs, power cords, which power cords can be a little difficult sometimes. But just like an easy wrap like this for a short HDMI. And again, I try to have my two heads line up so that way I can put the cable tie right there instead of putting it here and my heads bounce around like this. So just in order to wrap it like this, that way nothing bounces around. Now one more quick time. I start with over, I go under. Now I have a kink here, so I'm gonna just try to work that out. Under, pull a little bit so I have the same length, over, under. That's the basics to wrapping cords, and it is probably the number one step, the most basic part of working in production. This is what you need to know. So just a couple tips on how to properly wrap cords. If you enjoyed, y'all know what to do. But there you go, that's how you wrap cords.